On a remote island off the cold and unforgiving coast of Scotland, a man named Michael lives in total isolation. No neighbors, no visitors, no connection to the outside world. His only companion is a quiet, loyal dog who never leaves his side. Once every week, a small boat appears through the fog. On board are a teenage girl named Jessie and her uncle. Their job is simple: deliver supplies to Michael and leave. But something about Michael is strange. No matter how many times they visit, he never greets them, he never raves, he never even steps outside while they're there. Instead, he waits inside his small house, watching from behind the curtains. Only after the boat disappears into the distance does Michael step outside to collect the crate. He lives like a ghost, avoiding the world completely. One day, Jessie decides to try something new. Instead of just leaving the crate on the porch, she places a small wrapped gift beside it. When the boat leaves and Michael finally steps outside, he notices it immediately. For a moment, he simply stares at the gift, but then he grabs the crate and leaves the present lying on the ground. Inside the house, Michael spends the rest of the day drinking alone. The house is silent, except for the sound of chess pieces moving across a board. But Michael isn't playing against anyone. He's playing against himself. Every move careful, every move calculated, like a man who's used to thinking several steps ahead. A week later, Jessie returns with another supply delivery. But this time, she's had enough of Michael's cold behavior. Instead of quietly leaving the crate, she walks straight up to the door and knocks. A few seconds later, the door slowly opens. Michael stands there, clearly annoyed. Without saying a word, he grabs the crate and begins pushing the door shut. But Jessie quickly stops it with her foot. She holds out the same gift again. Curious and a little frustrated, she asks him the question that's been on her mind for months. Why won't you even say hello? Michael looks at her for a moment, but doesn't answer. Instead, he gently pushes her foot away from the door and shuts it in her face. Furious, Jessie storms back toward the boat. Before leaving, she shouts back at the house, "I'm not afraid of you." But once again, the gift is left behind on the porch. As Jessie and her uncle sail away from the island, the weather begins to change. Dark clouds start gathering across the sky. The wind grows stronger. Within minutes, the calm sea transforms into violent waves crashing against their small boat. A storm is rolling in, and it's getting worse fast. Jessie struggles to control the boat while her uncle fights the rising tide. But the ocean quickly becomes too powerful. A massive wave slams into them. The oars are ripped from Jessie's hands, and she's thrown straight into the freezing water. Her uncle shouts her name as he tries to reach her, but another giant wave crashes into his boat, forcing it sideways. The storm is swallowing them both. Back on the island, Michael's dog suddenly begins whining loudly at the window. The animal senses something is wrong. Michael looks outside toward the ocean, and what he sees immediately sends him running. In the distance, the tiny boat is being tossed around like a toy in the storm. Without hesitation, Michael rushes outside. As he runs through the house, his foot accidentally kicks the small gift Jessie left behind. The box slides across the floor, but Michael doesn't stop. He jumps onto his boot and launches it down the wooden ramp into the raging water. The engine roars to life. Michael speeds straight into the storm. Out in the ocean, Jessie manages to resurface for a moment. She gasps desperately for air, but something is wrong. Her legs are trapped.
She looks down and realizes they're tangled inside an old fishing net floating beneath the waves. No matter how hard she struggles, the ropes tighten around her legs. Another wave crashes down. The water drags her back under. Her lungs burn. Her vision fades. And slowly, Jessie loses consciousness. Just as the ocean threatens to claim her, Michael dives into the freezing water. The current is brutal, pulling him under again and again, but Michael fights through it. He finds the net wrapped around Jessie's legs and begins cutting through the ropes. After a few tense seconds, the net finally breaks free. Michael pulls her toward the surface and drags her onto his boat. Then he looks around desperately for Jessie's uncle, but all he finds is the overturned boat floating nearby. The man is nowhere to be seen. Michael already knows what that means. There's no time to search. Jessie isn't breathing. He immediately begins CPR. Seconds pass. Nothing. Then suddenly, Jessie coughs violently and gasps for air. She's alive. Hours later, Jessie wakes up inside Michael's house. She's lying in his bed, wrapped in blankets. Confused and weak, she immediately asks the question she fears most. "Where's my uncle?" Michael stays silent for a moment. Then he quietly tells her the truth. The storm took him. Jessie breaks down in tears. The loss hits her like another wave. She spends the rest of the day lying in bed, refusing to move. Meanwhile, Michael sleeps on the couch outside her room. The next morning, Michael examines Jessie's injuries. Her ankle is swollen and covered in deep cuts from the fishing net. As he cleans the wounds, Jessie begins asking questions. Why hasn't he called the police? Does anyone even know she's here? Michael avoids the questions and simply tells her to rest. But Jessie suddenly snaps. She demands to be taken back to the mainland immediately. Her family must be looking for her. Michael calmly shakes his head. No one's looking. Jessie freezes. Michael explains that her mother died years ago and she never knew who her father was. Her uncle was the only family she had left. The truth crushes her. Later, when Michael steps outside, Jessie quietly gets out of bed and searches his desk. Inside one of the drawers, she finds something useful, a kitchen knife. Hearing Michael returning, she quickly hides the blade under her pillow and pretends to be asleep. That night, Jessie begins having a terrible nightmare. She tosses and turns in bed, crying in her sleep. Michael hears the noise and comes to check on her, but the moment he touches her arm, Jessie instantly pulls the knife and holds it against him. Michael doesn't react with anger. Instead, he calmly adjusts her grip on the knife and teaches her how to hold it properly. Over the next few days, Michael takes care of Jessie. He cooks for her. He treats her injuries. He even carries her to the bathroom when she can't walk. Slowly, Jessie begins recovering. Eventually, she's able to step outside and spend time playing with Michael's dog. For the first time, Michael actually smiles. One afternoon, Jessie asks Michael how he knew her uncle. After a long silence, Michael finally answers. Years ago, the two men served together in the Royal Marines. But when Jessie asks Michael what his name is, he refuses to tell her. Instead, Jessie notices something else. The dog doesn't even have a name, so she decides to call him Jack. Michael doesn't argue. Later, Jessie casually comments on a clever chess move Michael makes. Surprisingly, she's actually very good at the game. But their quiet life is about to be interrupted. When Michael checks Jessie's ankle again, he realizes the wound has become infected. If it gets worse, it could be dangerous. Michael decides he needs medicine. Even though he hates leaving the island, he promises Jessie he'll find her what she needs. After Michael leaves in his boat, Jessie begins exploring the house again. On his desk, she finds something unexpected, a drawing. Michael had secretly sketched her sitting beside Jack. And inside the drawer, she finds the gift she left him. He did open it after all. Inside is a snow globe, and inside the globe is a tiny lighthouse, identical to the one standing on the island. But far away in London, something much more dangerous is happening. A secret government surveillance system called Theia has been monitoring every phone, camera, and digital device across the entire country. And soon, this powerful system will mistakenly identify Michael as a violent terrorist. Once that happens, an elite team of soldiers will be sent to eliminate him, and Michael has no idea they're coming. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.